Greetings, everyone. Tonight I'm working on a new RefToon featuring John Calvin. This is one that Stephanie had laid in the flats for me last night, and now I'm just going to finish the colors up on this one. How's everyone doing tonight? Oh, hey, we've got a comment here. Girl Talk Apologetics. Hello, I've shared your tunes in many classes and in our social media. I teach at my church. Awesome. Hopefully they're helpful for you. Where's everyone tuning in from? Sorry. If I'm not talking very loud, it's because I can't really hear myself. One of my ears is plugged. So I'm just gonna finish the colors on this one. I'll change some of them because when Stephanie puts the flat colors on, she just grabs whatever color she wants, and then that way it's easier for me to just like select whichever colors and change what I want to change. So I can do like a global color here and turn that off and turn that off. Then when I change a color, it'll change all of that specific color. Oh. Let's do this. There we go. And we'll make this rat. Oh, Southern California near Disneyland. Sweet. I've only been to California once. I went to San Diego for a work trip once. I didn't get to see much of it because whenever work was done, it was dark out, so I didn't really get to see the ocean or anything, which was disappointing. I drove to see the ocean, but by the time I got there, it was pitch black. Couldn't even see it. So I'm streaming live on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. Seeing how that works. Okay. Now I'm going to start coloring on the background. Oops. What did I just do? Uh-oh, something happened where this text layer got combined with the other layer. Now it's just become part of it. I can't move that. So I'm just going to do this. I just need to adjust some settings on my pen. Not sure why that's not working. Oh, it is. Okay. But it's just not going back. So I switched tablets. I used to use a Wacom Cintiq. And with that one, I was actually able to use the button on my pen to grab any color, but I would have to hold it. If I held it, it would just automatically grab the color. When I let go, it would go back to my other tool that I was using. So it would be like the brush tool or the paint bucket tool, and then I could just fill really quick with the color I just grabbed. With this new tablet, it's a Huion, and it's not letting me do that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a specific setting I need to use or what. I think I want those clouds to be kind of yellow, actually. And then the shadow will probably fade into like an orangey color or a purpley color. I'm not sure. I'll play with it a little bit. Let's see. Turn the opacity down to 40. That should be good. Okay. This is, so if you haven't seen the Calvin's Instututes comic that I have out, it's a different style of coloring than I typically do for the RefToons. The RefToons I try to do more of like a painterly style in the coloring, in the finished coloring at least. But on the Calvin comic, it's more of like a, I don't know, I call it cell shaded coloring style where the shadows are more hard edged and it's just a quicker style to do. I've toyed with that on some of these daily tunes. I call them daily tunes, but they're like once every couple months. But for these ones, I've toyed with doing more of that simple shaded look. But since these are just like one-off comics, I kind of like doing the more painterly look. And then I also sell these as art prints in the shop, so I want them to be a little more thoughtful. But the comic has to be, I have to draw it in a way that's still detailed how I like it, but also quick to accomplish because I have 16 or 15 more books to do for that, and it just has to be done faster than these, more efficiently. I like how she did the kind of the purple stuff on there. I meant for those to be green, but I kind of like that. We'll see if I end up keeping it or not. Y'all doing all right? I'll brighten that grass up a bit. And then I'm gonna make that more of an reddish orange color. And then for this labyrinth, I think I'd like it to be more of like a tan, almost limestoney color. Maybe? Or maybe it should be like a derivative of that. There. And actually, I think I will do these. They're a little distracting in that purpley color. And let's make the cross gold. And I'll even do a color hold on the lines for the cross and make it kind of like it's glowing or something. Okay, let's do a white chicken, but we'll grab that color for the white. And then anything else in here that's going to be white is going to be that same color that I used for the clouds. Okay, we've got a kid over here. Oops. Brighten him up a little bit. And I think he needs a lighter blue. Footy pajamas. This is, you may recognize this character from a couple of the previous comics. He's from the coffee comic, Coffee with the Johns. This is the barista named Brian. He's never really a happy guy, but he wears green and has orange hair. Oops. I don't like that guy's. It's almost a grayish color. And let's see. We can change this color. And this color. Ugh. Change this color as well. Then I think we're good to go on this. Okay. Get some of that yellow in there. Sides here. All right, get some highlights on this grass here. It's quite the yellow. I'm gonna have to tone that down a little bit. The inside of that labyrinth is going to be tricky, but that's what's next. I'm going from, if you haven't noticed, I'm going from the larger elements down to the smaller ones. So I did the sky first, then the clouds, then did the cliff with the grass. I'm working on the labyrinth, and then I'll get into the little details of each individual character. The base should have the most, or the deepest shadow, probably. And then it gets lighter as it goes higher with more light reflecting on various parts of it from different places. then the John Calvin text, I'll probably do like maybe an effect like it's glowing or something. Similar to how I'll do that one. Now I'm gonna have to get right down into here. I might actually do the tops of this in a lighter flat color. Let's try that. So that means I'm gonna have to close all these gaps. And then I will do my fill. Aquila Copeland asks, is this program simpler to use than Photoshop? No, actually it's probably a little more complicated. There's a lot to look at. It's a lot different. This is Clip Studio Paint, and it's made primarily for making comics. So it has a really good like brush engine. It's made specifically for drawing. And Photoshop is not made specifically for drawing. It's made for photo editing. But it has painting features. It was originally made for, I shouldn't say it's only made for that, but it's made for painting and drawing and photo manipulation. But this is specifically for comic creation. So it has a lot more different ways of using different tools and things. It also has different features that help in extreme heat watch. Okay. A lot of different features that really help in the creation of comics and stuff. Like a panel creation tool. It also has the word balloon tool. But it is similar in many ways. Like it has, you work with layers, and it has different brushes that you can use to paint with, and you can go into each brush and change all the different settings. It's just not as intuitive as Photoshop as far as like the user interface. And there's so much to learn in this program. I still don't know how to do everything. And I've been using it for like, I don't know, 16, 17 years. Nope. Oops. tool. Oh, true. Good point. Yeah, but I still use Photoshop for different things. At work. I don't use it at home because I don't pay for the subscription. I actually use the Affinity suite, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and Affinity Publisher. I have been using those for quite a while now. I think since like 2016, maybe. Been using those instead of Photoshop or instead of Adobe products because I can buy the entire program. I don't have to pay a subscription, and they're only like $50 a piece. They do everything that I need from Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. The only issue comes when you have to actually send the files to the printer and they require like InDesign files or something, or usually they're able to take a PDF, so I just save it as a PDF with editable layers, and that way they can do what they need with it. This is the tedious work. This is what, so my wife actually does the flat colors for me, but I didn't have her create this top part of the labyrinth as a separate color. I didn't think about it. But she's very helpful because she can do that on some of these pages while I'm working on other pages and just get things done faster that way. Because the flatting phase is the most tedious phase, and all it is just making sure that there are flat colors laid in underneath all of the line art. So that I can go through and lay in my shadows quicker and easier. Because I can just select specific colors and have those highlighted with the magic wand tool and just do shadows on those specific layers without affecting the other layers. That's the purpose of the, well, and to lay in under color. That's the purpose of flats. Hope I'm not getting sick. Woke up this morning, my left ear was completely plugged. I couldn't hear anything out of it, and it's been like that all day. Then we were watching a movie tonight, and my wife poured some hydrogen peroxide in my ear, and I just laid down on my side and let it bubble and tickle for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. That was tough. And I couldn't see the TV screen, so I played Mario Kart Tour on my phone while they watched the movie. And while I waited for the peroxide to work its wonders. And it did. It unplugged my ear pretty good, but I don't know. I hope I don't have like an ear infection or I'm getting sick or something. Sometimes that happens when I get sick. Oh, that's awesome. Tag team artwork is so fun. My daughter and I draw it together sometimes, but never learned how to do digital line art properly. She's 11 and way more advanced on that front than I ever was. That's awesome. Glad you guys can do that together. Actually, my daughter, she wants a job to do, so we are going to pass off the flatting to her, and she's super excited about it. She's 11, and she just loves to draw. And all the other kids have little projects that they do. My oldest daughter likes to sew, so she's been sewing a lot and started an Etsy page with a lot of her stuff. And then my other daughter, she likes to make soap and stuff, so she's been making soap and putting that on the Etsy page. My son, he does a lot of the video editing for me for the YouTube videos and uploading them. He also prints all of our t-shirts and stuff like that. But our youngest daughter, Harper, she does not have anything to do. All of the things that she wants to do are not things that she's really able to do, so they get handed off to the other kids. And so now she finally has something that she can do. So as I'm working on the line art for the next Calvin's Institutes comic book, she's going to be laying in the flats for me on each page. So I'll have to sit down and teach her how to do that and stuff. That'll be fun. What kinds of things do you and your daughter draw together? Is it like, are you creating like a project together, or is it just like little art projects here and there? We sometimes do family watercolor nights where we all just sit at the kitchen table and do our own little watercolors. Well, now I think about it, it's been a while since we've been able to do that. We should do that again. That's fun. It's usually when I get to when I sit down and draw things that are not RefToons related. And it's always fun for me to branch out and draw other things. Of course, that's what I get to do at work, my day job all day too. Oh, you're working on showing your daughter how to do rubber band loom bracelets. Oh, lost it. Make candy cuffs. What are candy cuffs? My daughter has a bracelet loom over in the living room that she likes to get out and use. I think she got it for Christmas. But yeah, they love doing that kind of thing. Oh, redraw her work in your style. That's awesome. That's fun. Sounds like a good time. Good time together. I know it's always fun for us. Oh, something we all really enjoy doing is it's called blindfolded drawing. And so we have a big whiteboard in our kitchen, and so we'll blindfold the person who's up to draw, and they will have something in their head, or they'll draw a card that has a word on it or something like that. And they will try and draw that blindfolded, and everyone else has to guess, and whoever guesses it right gets to draw the next thing. That's always really fun. It's like I got that outside of the lines a little bit. That's all right. I think I got all of the tops of it colored, but yeah, I like that contrast a lot better. Let's see. Now I'm gonna have to color inside here. But I don't want to color out here, so I'm gonna deselect this outer part. Oh, candy is what ravers call their bracelets. I just still use the term. Basically, it's making layered arm cuffs with pony beads. Okay. My son had like a survival birthday one year, a few years ago, and I made this paracord bracelet. So now if I'm ever lost in the woods, I'll have some paracord to build something with. Except I didn't want to do the typical paracord bracelet, so I found a some instructions on how to make like a Viking braided type of one. So it's braided differently than what the regular paracord bracelets you normally see are. And it doesn't have like a clip to clip it together. It just has like a loop with a knot. Okay, let's see. Let me get this purple. I always use this purple color for my shadows. Wish I could move this little thing down out of my way. So the base of these walls is what's going to be kind of in the most shadow. You have to be careful not to overlap some of these because I just have the whole color selected, so it could go on anything that I don't want it to. All right, getting some more depth there. We've got the skeleton guy down there. He's gonna have to be different color because he's the same color as the walls, apparently. Yeah, we have a ton of paracord left over from the party that we did. We actually used some of it to make like those, I don't know what they're called, the cats in the cradle string games that you do on your fingers. And our girls liked to bring those on trips and try and do like all the different patterns, I guess. But yeah, actually I used some of the paracord for when I was building a fence a couple of years ago. I needed a straight line. Okay. We're gonna lighten up on some of the shadows as it gets further out towards the back there. Give it kind of some sense of depth, atmosphere. Might even do like an overlay of some lighter color over top of that. All right, here's Brian, our angry barista. Oh, I see a line that I'm missing. Can fix that. Black. There we go. Save. Water break. Did I go to school for this skill? Yes, I have talked about it, but I don't mind telling again. I mean, I did not go to school for like digital art or anything. I went to school for classical art. So I have what I call a classical art education, painting, drawing, sculpture. And I just went to a small Christian college in Michigan, Spring Arbor University, and didn't know what I wanted to do or what I even could do with an art degree. So I just got just a general art degree with a focus, a concentration in drawing. So I did go to school for drawing. But after I got out of school, I didn't even know what type of job to look for or how to even find an art job because the school that I went to was really just trying to push people into getting art education jobs or graphic design jobs, and I did not want to do graphic design, which would be like magazine layout and logo design and stuff like that. So I don't do that kind of stuff. So, the schooling wasn't really helpful for finding a job, but it was helpful for teaching me how to draw better and how to paint better and all the fun stuff. But the business of art was not something that was taught. And so coming out of school, I did not know what to do. Didn't have an art job, which was fine. I worked at a place called the Deli Dog House. That was my first job out of college, making Italian beef sandwiches. And but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I like cooking. And then I don't know, I couldn't find any work at one point. I got laid off from an art job that I finally landed. Couldn't find any more work, so I ended up freelancing. I became a freelance illustrator for 15 years. And did a lot of different projects for various clients. And I guess I'm probably telling you more than what you asked for, but um but yeah, 15 years of freelance illustration. And then just last September, after a while of no freelance work, I took a full-time position at a souvenir company as an illustrator, as an in-house illustrator. And so I've been doing that since last September, almost a year. And that's been pretty fun. But it's a huge change going in somewhere to work when I spent 15 years working from home, setting my own hours. But that's all like my freelance art stuff and my professional art stuff, which doesn't really have anything to do with the RefToons art that I do. That's just a separate thing. That's always been a separate thing from my freelance. Except when like when publishers have hired me to illustrate for them. So the the John Calvin's Instututes book, I'm using my RefToons style for that, but it's being published by a publisher. And it's not I guess I don't consider that freelance because I don't necessarily get paid for that until the books sell and I get royalties once a year. Yeah, no problem. I like sharing my story, and I also like hearing other people's art stories and everything. Have you always been an artist, or you mentioned earlier your drawing hurts your hands now? Um, Made me wonder if you were an artist or used to be an artist, or I went through a period where I didn't think I was going to be able to draw anymore because I couldn't lift my arm up anymore. I had no control over my muscles, and it was just like I could barely lift my arm up um to do anything. But and I went to the chiropractor. They recommended I go to a masseuse, so I did that. And they really worked my shoulder muscles and got me to the point where after a couple um, sessions, they were able to get the movement back in my arm. So that was happy for that. All right, looks like I've got all that done. Save that. Okay. Now. You dabbled in different types of mediums, proficient at one thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, art tied to your emotional state. That's, I mean, that's, I think we all go through that. If you're an artist, your your art almost becomes a way of expressing your emotions and stuff. Sometimes that's like, it's hard for me to like explain things sometimes. And that's why I like to, I think that's why I like drawing, because I feel like I can draw an explanation better than I can say an explanation of something. And so art's always been my way of communicating. Some people have blogs, I have comics. I've never been much of a talker, which is why it's sometimes hard for me to think of things to say when I'm on these live draws. Oh, I think you have arthritis, huh? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, now I'll just do this color. But let's get all of these guys. And we'll do the rat. And the skeleton. That guy. And his hair. Do that guy. That guy. Okay. So I'm just going to go through with one color. Since I have it on a multiply layer, it's just going to act as like, this one color is going to act as a shadow for all the colors that I'm using. So it's going to multiply. I don't know what that means, but it does something on the layer to... Never mind. I'm on the wrong... I'm coloring on my flat layer. That's not good. So I gotta undo, undo, undo. There we go. Now it's a multiply layer. Now it won't be so purpley. So it takes my purple and it kind of multiplies it with the color that it's going on top of. But I also have it turned down to 50% opacity, so it doesn't look so bold. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad they're helpful for you. Enjoy making them. And it's my way of communicating the basically communicating what I'm learning as I've studied theology. I wasn't always into theology, but ever since I think around 2012, I became very interested in learning more about the Bible, and from there I started learning about all these old dead guys. So the comics are just a way of sharing what I'm learning, different quotes that I'm coming across in my studies or in my searches. I just realized it's almost August, which means it's almost September, and we're going to be heading to a conference September 5th and 6th in Tennessee, in Nashville, that we have to prepare for. So we got to I got to figure out what art prints I'm going to bring and figure out all the different things to set up our booth with. The conference is called War of the Worldviews, and it's has something to do with like contending with various like atheistic worldviews and things like that. Standing up as a Christian in our increasingly secular world. Looking forward to it. We're going to bring all our kids there. Or did that get white? No, that. Oh yeah, I've never been to a Ligonier conference. I probably would have never gone to any of these conferences though if we didn't um if it weren't for RefToons and being able to just be a sponsor at them and sell our products in order to make up the cost. Um, but yeah, they're usually pretty fun. Um, and how exciting you get to take photos at your VBS on your birthday. Happy birthday. We had our VBS like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago. My kids, they did VBS one week, and then very next week they went off to camp. And then came back and they were exhausted. What's going on here? Oh, I have the wrong color selected. No, we didn't do the answers in Genesis. Our church has like, I think it's like 5 different um lessons for 5 different years of VBS, and they just cycle through all those every year. At least that's what I'm told. This is only our uh second year at this church. Um, but yeah, it's their own curriculum that they wrote, I guess. Or that they've compiled from various other sources, I think. Okay, just a few more things left to color here. Then it's off to bed. It's already 10:35. Wrong layer and color again. Oh, I need to save my work. Brian's not here to tell me to save my work. Oh. Nope. Not distracting at all. I was actually able to work while talking, which is a feat for me. So enjoy your night. And let's see. And thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I'm trying to find these other comments. SM McMahon 777. Our pastor Chris and family are holidaying in the Red Center. I don't know what that means. And good night to you, SM McMahon 777. I'm gonna finish these colors and then I'm off to bed. And this will be posted on Wednesday. And if you're signed up for emails, you'll get it straight to your email. So go to reftoons.com and should be a pop-up that says sign up for emails. And then so every Monday I send out a free coloring page in the email. And then Wednesdays I update you guys on new RefToons or new things that are coming. And then Fridays are usually when I have like sales that I email out. Sales on products at reftunes.com. So if you want to get those emails, sign up. Just go to reftunes.com and fill out the pop-up form. And you'll get on the list. And I'm noticing things that I forgot to color here in the background. So I'm gonna, oh, and I can't forget to color Calvin. Oh boy. Uh, th- Thank you. If you're getting sick, then it won't be very long. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, well, that's all I got for now. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't checked out reftoons.com, I do have free shipping going on orders of $50 or more. And there we go. This just recently came out. This is John Calvin's Illustrated Instututes. And if you order this now from reftoons.com, it is a comic book adaptation of the first 5 chapters of Calvin's Instututes. If you order this online right now at reftoons.com, you could also have the option of adding in a free sticker pack that goes along with it, and it has John Calvin in a spacesuit along with the cat that's in a spacesuit there, and a couple other stickers as well. So check that out at reftoons.com, and you can get $50 or free shipping on orders of $50 or more. I also have a Pilgrim's Progress adaptation that if you order that, you can also have the option of adding on a free pack of pinback buttons featuring various characters from the book. So check that out, reftoons.com, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night.